welcome to, hey, who voted me leader of the pack? As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. My name is Zink, and I am a licensed clinical social worker with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition in St. Louis, Missouri. As an agency, we appreciate, and many of us firsthand, just how exceptionally challenging this time is for families who were already doing the day-to-day heavy lifting of protecting, loving, nurturing children who've endured early life traumas, experiences that have made parenting them exhausting in ways that no one could have prepared us for. You with me? And now, on top of all of that, this. And as far as I know, Amazon Prime has not delivered a rule book to help us through it. So what we'd like to do, and it's our hope, we can bring you some support, some humor, information, keeps the validation, and maybe just a little break in your day a couple times a week. What's the good news? I believe in my heart that this crisis just might create some opportunities for deeper connections and healing with your children. It's going to be a lot of work. It's already been a lot of work. But please do not dismiss the payoffs that you may receive down the road. For when they're vulnerable, when they're scared, and you protect them, amazing things can happen. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer because I fear that this could sound preachy. And that's one of my biggest problems. So, for many of us, the knowledge, experience, and earned wisdom that we need to solve life's crises and challenges, they already lie within us. But we can't get to it when it's needed most for a whole lot of reasons. We're exhausted. We have competing priorities. We have to act quickly. And those are just a few of the reasons why. Do we agree? So we're most often left reacting versus responding. And at the end of the day, when we reflect, when we have that luxury to reflect, we're left feeling inadequate, maybe ashamed, guilty, and like we wish we had a do-over. Or maybe just a little angry that somebody else, maybe the kids, put us in a position that we behaved in ways that weren't in keeping with our values. Either way, or any of those ways, we end up in kind of a swampy place. So when in the trenches, being able to sit and calmly reflect on what we'd like to do is a luxury that frankly is often out of reach, inaccessible in that moment. And that's what's motivated me to bring you these short videos, to provide you with a few moments to rest your minds, be reminded of what you already know, connect with your inner wisdom, your core values, possibly, I don't know, add a new idea or two along the way. Who knows? If you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or soda or water and you're sitting down, take a few deep breaths and just enjoy a few minutes for yourself. Okay, so for today, what I want to talk to you about is how you're doing. As Katie at our office would say, how you doing? I don't do it justice, but she cracks me up. So how has your family been making the shift from what was normal in February to what's normal today? And I don't know about you, but I have been adjusting mostly by the seat of my pants. And we know when working with children who experienced early trauma in their primary relationships, being able to trust, to feel safe, is a key goal and indicator of good mental health. Right? That's one of our biggest challenges with our kiddos. to allow them, to help them allow themselves to trust us enough, to let down that guard enough, to believe that they don't have to be in control all the time, that they can trust us enough to feel safe. And felt safety versus being safe. You know, we have a safe home and we have safe food, we have safe medicines. But felt safety is developed and maintained within healthy relationships, something most of them did not begin life with. And they've had to work really, really hard to develop by slowly trusting adult caregivers and parents. And with all the changes that have been occurring, it's important to discuss a return to the foundations of safety, physical and emotional, first and above all else. My guess is that that sounds trite and maybe a little elementary and like, lady, we've been trying to get toilet paper, lesson plans, and keep the blood off the floor. And you want to talk about going back to foundations of safety? Yeah, I do. Because I really believe by the end of this next few minutes, it may enlighten a way to get a really big return on your investment, because I know you're working really hard. So go with me for a couple minutes here. With all the changes that have occurred, it's really important to talk about this. It can't be stated, in my belief, loud enough, that if your children have established safety with you before this, or if they were well on their way, or have begun just picking away at it, you need to check in, assess, and likely reestablish a lot of that safety again. This crisis likely has taken them back to times of deep insecurity and feeling unsafe. You might be seeing behavioral expressions of this already, regressions, agitation, anxiety, anger, irritability. So let's quickly get, I talked briefly about physical safety and emotional or feeling safe. So let's get physical safety out of the way quick. So that's important. It's a good idea to talk with your kiddos about the current situation with information that's appropriate to their developmental understanding. And that's going to be different for all kids. Let them know the recommended protective measures and what you are doing to keep them safe. You're in charge of the family. Don't lie to them, make promises you can't keep that you don't have control over, and yet let them know and be a part of what you can do to minimize the risk of contracting the virus. Let them know that if they or you should contract the virus and get sick, you have insurance. If you do, we'll take care of each other, what to expect in terms of symptoms. Assure them that this metropolitan area, if you live in a metropolitan area, has good medical facilities. And passing thought, maybe promise them ice cream and 7-Up. I don't know. That worked for me back in the early decades. I'm a boomer. When I had to have my tonsils out. My mom and dad promised me ice cream and 7-Up. I didn't understand I wouldn't be able to enjoy it because it hurt. But anyway, I remembered that when I was writing this and thought, yeah, promise them some good stuff on the upside. Now, you don't want to be saying to them, yeah, nothing to worry about. It's really invalidating. No, there is stuff to worry about. And I would be asking them, what are your worries? What are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Thinking about me, Dad, Sid? We'll get into that a little bit more later because it comes around to felt safety. But I would address the physical safety as well. One moment. Quick aside, first time I've used my favorite new coffee cup since last summer. It says, a yawn is a silent scream for coffee. Oh my goodness. So now the big challenge that we're here to talk about, the trigger to their past, felt or emotional safety. This is where you are the leader of the pack. Everything that you do or say, how you control the information coming into your home, your mental and physical state will convey to the children how safe they are. They're not even cognizant of this. This is deep in their minds. They're just feeling it, observing it, taking it in, and they are living according to it. So they're watching you every morning, every moment of every day for the daily report. You are their COVID-19 barometer. They trust you, and they are reading you like a book. Kiddos with early trauma who have been and felt unsafe had to develop and fine-tune extraordinarily exquisite sensory perceptions. For some of you, you'll remember that their hippocampus in their brain responds to the amygdala, to pick up on signs of danger. That's their survival. They're scanning all the time. They had to. It was really, really evolutionary. It was necessary. So, in order to survive, they developed hypervigilance to sensory signs of danger. Think about it. Subtle looks, sounds, smells, certain sudden movements, facial expressions that something was about to happen, tones of voice, looks in the eye, knowing when someone's being dishonest or hiding information, maybe a shift in the eyes, maybe a look one parent through the other parent. In order to survive, they had to pick up on those cues. And they became really, really good at watching for them. When in distress, they automatically go on high alert all the time. They can't go on high alert just when they hear a loud noise and they go on high alert for a few minutes like we do, or a few moments. We hear a smoke detector and we're like, what? We assess, we have a social buffer, we say, okay, check the facts, blah, 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 blah. We're okay. These kiddos don't reset sometimes for hours or days, and sometimes even longer. So a crisis like this likely has many of your kiddos set at high alert, and they're probably still there. When they're on high alert, they will and can miss nothing. Their existence requires that, right? So I was going to play it for you, and I had it all queued up, but I don't trust myself. You know that song, Somebody's Watching You? Somebody's watching you. Think about that. They're watching you all the time. You are their anchor. They're scanning all the time, and they come back to you. How are you? You're their anchor. So when they're in this state, this is sad too, they really don't have the luxury of taking in signs of comfort. There's no room really to let down their guard. So you might be trying to give them fun, distraction, playfulness, and you might be getting met with agitation, irritation, anger, resentment. Get away from me. I don't want to play. Shut up. It's stupid. I don't want to play. Like, she's trying to give you a little fun here, kid. And we're going to, in future vlogs, it's called vlogs, I guess, talk about block care, block trust, and how you can regulate yourself, because that really hurts. It's really hard. You're like, all I'm trying to do is give you a break, kid. Maybe helping to understand why. If they need to be scanning, they can't, they take that as a threat. So it's really frustrating. But for them to play, to accept your comfort, it's really counterintuitive right now. So likely being met with defensive responses that are self-protective, but really are hard on you. So in addition to watching and scrutinizing everything you do on a daily basis, let's think about some additional unique triggers that this situation may be pinging for them. How about conversations about food scarcity? If they're hearing about standing in line at stores, or stores don't have food, or hoarding, the news has been using the word hoarding. How many of our kids have heard about hoarding food? Maybe subconsciously, what might this be triggering for them about food scarcity? Conversations about lost wages, lack of money, budgeting, worries about food, conversations about medical supply shortages, conversations about death, conversations about feeling unsafe if you go in the community, covering up, staying away from people, how to be safe in the community. What if some of your kiddos came from unsafe communities? What are they envisioning? Loss of control over just about everything. Being removed, I have that in quotes, removed from school with no ritual goodbye. Are they being triggered by all the other times they were just simply removed with really no preparation? Worries about where their other bio family members are. Are they safe? Are they getting enough to eat? Are they getting medical care? Are they sick? Where are they? Will they know? Where are their siblings? Where are their grandparents? Where are previous foster parents? Worries about teachers, therapists, bus drivers, your relatives, peers. So all of these can have unspoken, spoken, overheard, person and from the media influences on how these children are perceiving and making sense of what's happening. So, what is an already overwhelmed, exhausted, worried, overextended parent to do? Do more? That's probably what you're hearing, huh? Nope. How about do less? What if you could do less? And I'm not talking about clean less or lower your standards. How about do less? I'll tell you a little bit here for even a bigger return on your investment. Slow down, walk slower, move slower, quiet down the sensory stimulation in your home. Think about the volume on TVs, music. Just turn down a couple volume notches, make people listen a little more closely. Smile a little more with intention. You know, there's this cool thing. When you smile, you can actually override your amygdala and your brain. Dan Hughes and John Balin, forgive me for probably making this more simplistic, but you can override and tell your brain, it's okay, I got this, with just a little half smile. Okay. Play a little bit, sing, communicate non-verbally that everything's going to be reasonably okay, but you're in charge, and this family is working together, and it's working together really, really well. Praise your family for having a united front. Reduce sensory overload. Lead with a relaxed, confident, yet honest manner. Allow time for distractions and gentle play. Exercise with the kids. Manage and control the information coming into your house. Ask about their worries. Look for opportunities to care for them in extra ways to demonstrate that they're safe. Like, walk behind them and drop off a little snack over their shoulder. They look up, it's an unexpected surprise, give them a wink. Be like, I got you. If they are not a touch adverse, give them a little back rub. Make them an extra treat. Give them a wink across the room. Thumbs up. A little nudge. A little tug on the hair when you go by. Maybe you come up with a family mantra like, COVID, get lost, we got this. My last name is Zink. Maybe like, the Zinks, you ain't got COVID, you got nothing on those Zinks. Be off. Maybe come up with a family mantra that you say as a, raising the flag kind of thing, a united front. So what I really want you to hear, that's concluding the first one, is you are a leader. They're looking to you. Reestablish safety. It's your foundation. They may not be saying it because they may not even be recognizing it. A lot of this felt safety is buried deep, deep, deep. It's deep in the brain. But when you recognize it as their anchor, and you can reinforce it, you can soothe it, you can build it, slow it down. You got weeks to go, I suspect. I don't have a crystal ball, but I suspect. Slow it down. Slow down all these activities. Lots of stretching in between. The winks, the nods, the treats. The conveying through your face and your body. We got this. They can begin being less hypervigilant. They can begin letting go of their need to protect themselves because you got this, which will reduce a lot of those behaviors. May open them up to accept and receive fun and play, which will make you feel better as a parent. And please, above all else, you're doing the best you can. Your best is good enough, even when it's not great. I think you only need to do well about 20-30% of the time, and you're stellar. Really. You can reach out to the coalition. You got people answering the phones. We're happy to talk to you. Even when you're not doing great. Even when you're not doing great, let us know. We're there. We've been there. We're there now. We're all getting through it. Give us a call. The next two vlogs that we're going to be working on are Connection Before Correction, Part 1, which I'm titling, are you kidding me? We are already connected 24/7. How much more connected could we possibly get? And the third one, Connection Before Correction, Part 2, is for you guys. How to get reconnected with yourself during this really unprecedented time. Like how to get grounded. Who's got time? Just a couple of short things. Maybe bring me in. I appreciate you more than you know. We at the coalition appreciate you more than you know. You are not alone. We're thinking about you 24/7 here. We're talking about you. We're talking about you 24/7. Thinking about ways to help. Let us know. It's our full intent to do whatever we can to help you. I'm going to say peace out, a little more coffee, and get ready to bring you one on some, maybe some unique ways to look at some correction, because you're going to go crazy in your house. And, you know, you can't really ground them when they're already grounded, right? So, tune in. I appreciate your time.